Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap. Today is April 22nd. It is Tuesday. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful day. My day was all right. We got a lot of news to cover today, starting with the Trump administration, and then another news segment where we have the bulk of our news today. Opening up with the Trump administration, we have three topics today. The DHS has denied Mohammed Khalil's request to witness the birth of his child, RFK to phase out food dye in food, and Trump considers giving $5,000 to moms and funding ovulation classes. The DHS has denied Mohammed Khalil's request to witness the birth of his child. Authorities denied an urgent request by Mohammed Khalil to be temporarily released from detention under monitoring so he could attend the birth of his first child, and his wife delivering their son without Khalil. His wife delivered Khalil without their son. Um, oh my gosh, that was like terrible. His wife delivered their son without Khalil present on Monday in New York. Khalil was able to experience part of the birth over phone from the Louisiana detention center where he's being held. Holy, I'm sorry. He's done nothing wrong. This shouldn't be a problem in the first place. Freedom of speech is the right of anyone in the United States, and Mohammed Khalil is in prison right now for speaking out. Free this man. He should not be in prison, and he should be able to go see his child. RFK plans to phase out food dye in the food. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration signaled Monday that it intends to phase out petroleum based synthetic food dyes from the nation's food supply. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and FDA Commissioner Marty McGarkey said they would announce the effort Tuesday afternoon in Washington, D.C. The FDA has approved 36 color additives for use in food, including 9 synthetic dyes like Red 3, which the agency banned in January. This is good news. I don't think anyone really wants harmful dyes in their food. This is one of the very few policies that I agreed with RFK Jr. on, but I do believe that we have health issues in this country that need to be solved. I just don't think the way RFK plans to address those issues is the greatest, and I guarantee you a majority of people agree with me on that one. Trump is considering giving $5,000 to moms to fund birth rates. The Trump administration is exploring ideas to encourage Americans to have children, including a baby bonus payment of $5,000. The New York Times reported that the policy experts advocates for boosting the birth rate have been meeting with the White House to aid the present proposals on how to increase the U.S. birth rate, which is currently in decline. The White House said the president is proudly implementing policies to uplift American families. There's a lot of opinions to be had on this one. Yes, boosting the birth rate is beneficial. I cannot speak today, holy. But Trump doesn't tend to do very positive things with the majority of the things he does in his administration. And having a bunch of nationalist children is a good way to control the masses. So at the end of the day, yes, boosting the birth rate is beneficial if you want to run a country, but Trump isn't going to do it in the most positive way, I'm sure. Moving on to the other news segment, we have a few topics to cover. The Wyoming abortion clinic is staying open. Harvard scientist with possible cancer cure has been detained by ICE, and 60 Minutes head is leaving. Wyoming's abortion clinics stay open. Wyoming's only abortion clinic is resuming abortions after a judge on Monday suspended two state laws. One suspended law would require clinics providing surgical operations to be licensed as outpatient surgical centers. The other would require patients to get an ultrasound before medication abortion. Wyoming's health Health Access in Casper had stopped providing abortions on February 28th after the Republican Governor Mark Gordon signed the licensing requirements into effect. People will now once again be able to get abortions in central Wyoming. This is great news, of course. A woman should have the opportunity to choose what she wants to do to her body. No one should be able to dictate what somebody wants to do to themselves, especially going with abortions and, the rights of an individual. A Harvard scientist with a possible cancer cure has been detained by ICE. Groundbreaking discoveries at Harvard Medical School could lead to breakthroughs in cancer detection and research into longevity, but the scientist who developed the computer script to read the image has been put in an immigration detention center for 2 months, putting these advancements at risk. The scientist is 30-year-old Kasina Petrov from Russia. She worked at a Harvard Kirshner lab until her arrest at the Boston airport in February. She is now being held at Richwood Correctional Center in Monroe, Louisiana, and is battling possible deportations to Russia, where she could face prosecution and jail time due to her protests against the war in Ukraine. Petrova spoke with NBC News and said, "I would call it a grinding machine. We are in this machine, and it doesn't care if you have a visa, a green card, or any particular story. It just keeps going." Before the Nazis were elected in Germany, it was the best place in the world for science and for scientists to complete any research they wanted to do. Then the Nazis came into power and banned scientific practices and science as a whole, so scientists fled the country. Many came to the United States and eventually developed the atom bomb, which became the nuclear bomb. And now the United States is in the same place where Germany was all those years ago, cutting funding for scientists and arresting scientists, while countries like France are offering American scientists to come work for them instead. When giant lasers strike down in LA and in New York, it'll be at fault of the Trump administration and a success of whoever beats them. The head of 60 Minutes is leaving the show. The executive producer of 60 Minutes, Bill Owens, has resigned from his role. He cited his reasoning as an increasing lack of ability to make independent decisions based on what is right for 60 Minutes, right for the audience, as Paramount's the global parent company tries to move past a CBS lawsuit filed by Trump. Owens said in his statement, "Over the past months, it has become clear that I would not be allowed to run the show as I have always run it. So, having defended this show and what we stand for every angle, over time with everything I could, I am stepping aside so the show can move forward." I don't really watch the news or 60 Minutes. I'm more of a reader. So I don't really know how impactful this will be towards, the show overall. But, this does remove some lack of credibility for CBS in the media. And, of course, it also gives more proof to the fact that the Trump administration is currently attacking free speech and, free media as a whole. And they want to get rid of something that we should be able to have in the United States as our First Amendment right. But with that being said, thank you everyone so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all tomorrow in another episode. If you're on YouTube, consider subscribing, dropping a comment, dropping a like. We're on our way to 100 subscribers on YouTube, so we're trying to get there as soon as possible. If you're on Substack, consider pledging your support. All funds go to me, helping me pay my bills, in school and all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I appreciate all forms of support on my content. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all tomorrow. Later.